Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. Today's episode is going to be part 3 on bug out bags in the bug out series. So, I'm doing a part 3 because I remembered at the end of part 2 that I was going to discuss the different sizes in a bag and why you should entertain all 3 of them or just one of them. Now, where do we go? Smaller bags. Now, obviously, I said this before, your skill level is going to dictate what size bag you use. Your environment is also going to dictate what style bag you use. Now, this Maxpedition bag is a smaller bag. This is for more skill, savvy, wilderness ready, outdoor survivalist people, right? So I can run with this bag on my own. No problem. I can pack all my shit in here. I could tie a blanket to the bottom, a wool blanket that is, to the bottom, and I'm squared. No matter what temperature I'm in, I can get away with this wool blanket as long as I have a fire. I would also put an emergency blanket and a contractor bag in here as well. I used to contract the bag when I slept out in the wilderness with just a wool blanket. I put the contractor bag over the wool blanket and myself, and that was one of the best night's sleep I ever had. So you can also do that because contractor bags pack really, really small. Now, skill set, guys. If you have no skill set, you are undoubtedly going to pack more. You're undoubtedly going to have a bigger bag because you're going to go with that ridiculous bug out bag list that has everything under the sun. And the problem with those lists are there's just too much shit to carry, and probably 50% of that stuff you're never going to touch. And people are like, well, it's better to have it than not need it, not have it. When you have too much of it, you're gonna realize that if you do your own bug out weekend and you're out for a weekend, you're gonna realize you didn't even touch 10% of that shit, right? So, again, beginners are gonna go with bigger bags. Beginners are gonna go with something like this, not a bag like the Eberlestock Destroyer, if you will, or the Battleship, which is a bigger bag, but a bag similar to this size. This is a pretty big size bag. And most beginners will go with this because they're like, oh man, I can fit everything I need in it. Now, there's another catch to a bag this big. Depends on your environment. If you live in cold weather, like today outside is 22 degrees, it is cold. If you're bugging out in this weather, you're gonna have a thicker sleeping bag and a 4-season tent. That's going to force you to pack a bag this big. You're not going to get away with it with a bag this big. You might be able to get away with the tent in a bag this big, but you're not going to get away with a sleeping bag because sleeping bags for cold weather pack thicker. Now, entertaining sleeping bags real quick. With sleeping bags, you can get thinner, more compact sleeping bags, but you're going to pay more. Western Mountaineering is a sleeping bag company that I've been looking into. Their bags pack a little tighter and compact, a little bit, in comparison to the Teton that I have in here. They're also lighter, but they are way more expensive. When I'm talking about way more expensive, I think this Teton sleeping bag cost me, I think it was like $150 or $80, one of those. So I put the correct price now. That's what that bag cost me. A Western Mountaineering bag for the same temperature bag, if not a little lower, would cost you almost $300. Now, keep in mind, you are paying for what you get. With Western Mountaineering, the $300 you spend for that bag, or maybe a little higher than that actually, sorry. For the bag that I wanted was probably around $300-400. That's a lot. But it's worth its weight in gold. It's going to keep you warm. That's the trade-off, guys. The more you spend, the better gear you're gonna get, the warmer you might be, or you will be rather, not might, you will be, and the more protected you're gonna be. So those are the trade-offs with it. But you can go with a smaller bag now, if you got a Western Mountaineering bag, for example. Just as an example, right? Now, some bags like Snug Pack, they had a below freezing bag that was pretty cool. And I was able to get that bag rolled up tight, and I put it at the bottom of the half track. So the half track you see here, you see this black strap? The black strap allows me to put a sleeping bag on the bottom of this. Now, when you put a sleeping bag on the bottom of any bag that has molly webbing, you have to cinch the sleeping bag down tight so it doesn't shake. Because when you're walking and the bag is hitting you in your ass, it's gonna throw your gait off when you're walking. And you don't wanna throw your gait off, especially if you have sensitive knees and ankles. You wanna make sure it's tight on the bag. You can also put it in the front of the bag here and strap it down as well. But I like to have it at the bottom for weight purposes. And if I strap it down tight, which 99% of the times I do, it doesn't move around. Now, back to skill set. If you have a wilderness background and you are good at what you do, you can get away with less gear and a smaller bag. Now, this bag I would entertain for my wilderness fall, spring, and summer. Also, another bag called the Officer's Front by Hazard 4. I don't think they make it anymore. But this bag was my scout bag for fall, summer. And, you know, in the beginning of the winter, I got away with this bag. I was able to put a sleeping bag at the bottom, my hammock in one part, food, water at the rest, and all the other gear I need fitted in that bag. It fits in this bag as well. The thing about this bag is you would have to use the straps that come here in the front, and you could put your sleeping bag here. And then you would use a contractor bag and you would put that in there, and your food, water, and everything else would go in here. But that depends on your skill set. Your skill set's gonna dictate what size bag you got. Now, wintertime, even with the wilderness background, you're gonna wanna go with a bigger bag. And and this is as big as I go in the wintertime with my skill set, right? If I'm using the wool blankets. If I'm not using the wool blankets and I don't want to deal with that shit, I'll go with the bigger bag. But that's out of laziness. That's out of, you know, me being fuck that. I don't want to deal with this shit today. But when I'm testing myself and testing how far I can go, this is as big as I've gone in the wintertime. I've gotten 2 wool blankets tapped at the bottom. I had a 4-season hammock and or tent in here. All the food, water, and supplies I needed at the top portion of the bag, and I was good to go. And you can easily get 5 days out of this. You definitely move farther with a bag like this. With a bag like this, you're not moving as far. Again, skill set dependent. You're definitely going with this bag if you are in a very, very cold weather situation where you want to go with a 4-season tent and a more comfortable, warmer sleeping bag. Plus, warm clothing, guys. Warm clothing, you're going to pack in a bag like this. Once I packed this bag for winter, I couldn't get any more warm clothing here other than my warm socks. That was it. But this, I was able to put another pair of thermals in here and socks. And that was pretty much it. And not another pair of pants. Another pair of pants, you have to, another pair of pants, the bag will get taller. Because this bag allows you to get taller so you can add a little more clothing in here. Whereas this bag, you can't do that. Right? After you add what you add in here, that's it. So, again, this bag is weather, environment dependent, and skill set dependent. This bag and this bag, which is the Maxpedition Gyrfalcon bag. This is the Maxpedition Gyrfalcon bag. This is the Eberlestock half track, and this bag is the Eberlestock Destroyer. I'm gonna put the Amazon links to all 3 of these bags in the description section below so you guys can look at them, because these are dependable bags. I swear by these bags. I tested these bags out for years. I've been beating the shit out of them. This one is only a couple of months old, but it's holding up so far. The Hazard 4 Officer's Front, another good dependable bag. But these bags are very dependable. This bag just broke. A zipper in the back top pocket just broke the other day. My last outing in the winter setting, when I was out at my buddy's land, the top zipper broke. No big deal. It's a small compartment. I'll adjust. I'll use something else, right? But these are dependable bags, guys. These are what I've known and what I've gone with. There is another bag company called Carrefour, if I'm saying it right. They're another dependable bag company, but their bags are a little more expensive than Eberlestock bags. But if you want to take a look at them, I'll put the link at the bottom below, in the description section below. Sorry, because again, you pay for what you get. You pay cheap, you get cheap. In some cases, you pay cheap, you get a decent bag. Again, 3V, that's probably one of the only companies, and 511 are probably the only two companies I'll suggest with moderate price bags that you can afford that are dependable. And then you have Maxpedition, then you have Hazard 4. And Hazard 4, they have a couple of bags that are moderately priced and very dependable. So these are dependable companies that I'm going with. And I'm not showing you guys this shit to run out and buy it. I'm just letting you know what are dependable shit. I've tested other bags before and they weren't bad. They lasted quite a while, but quite a while is a year or two. Now, if that's good for you, then that's what you go with. Other than that, guys, this is a video that I just wanted to clarify the sizes of the bag. And again, going over the weight of the bag should max out at 20% of your body weight. Do not go over or you're going to pay for it. Some people are like, well, why do you go with that? Well, it was a military suggestion years ago. I got to find the PDF file. If I find it, you'll see the link in the description section below. But it's worth a read. It's a short read, but it's worth a read. And you go, okay, it makes sense. But that's the max I would go with. I wouldn't go above that. All right, guys? Thank you for watching.